Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I am so happy you're here. It's been so fun for me to connect with all of you. Today I'm going to start work on a painting of a crane. It's a Sandhill crane. The photographer is Dave Hoefler, Hoefler. I'll link the reference photo in this video description. The photo's on Unsplash. Get a little closer maybe. I've got it on my iPad too, so I'll probably show it to you on my iPad. And I think the photographer has enhanced it. I don't think the Sandhill cranes are quite this rusty color right here, but I like it, so we're going to take inspiration from that. I'm going to paint it on a 15 by 30 inch canvas panel from Michaels. Like almost all of my paintings, it's on an 1.5 thick canvas. Kiln dried stretcher bars. This is their level 3 canvases. I really like them. And so I was thinking a little yellow oxide for my colors. Burnt sienna, because it's going to be a little redder. You can just mix some brown and some red. And then titanium white. They're all Liquitex. Oh, I store it this way so the paint's down towards the cap. And I'm playing with colors a little bit. And so I mixed those 3 colors, more yellow oxide than the burnt sienna, and some white. And that actually looks like a pretty good color for the back of that crane that I just pointed to in the reference photo. So then I pulled some of that color out. I put more yellow oxide in it and a little neutral gray 5. And I'm probably going to pull some white into it. Here. Maybe we'll just see what it does. So I'm looking for a little softer, duller gold color, kind of like in the background. It's pretty rusty in that photo. I want to push that back a little bit so the crane pops more forward. Oh, I think that's going to work. We'll add some white to it. So it's a little less red. Leave the sort of reddish orange color for the crane, even though I think they're kind of gray. I'm not an expert on Sandhill cranes, but they do come, I think most of them fly through here, through Nebraska, out near Kearney. Oh yeah, I think that's going to do it. Can you see the color difference? So now that's a little more orange, that's a little more yellow. So I'm going to get some color on this big canvas and I'll be back. Just a couple thoughts. So this is upside down. I dried it with a hair dryer and flipped it and then painted the darker bottom part. So here, if I hold my reference photo upside down, I'm not following the reference photo exactly. We'll figure it out. I just want to get some paint down. I just want to get some horizontal brush strokes down that go lighter as it goes towards what will be the top of the painting. And then I use the 2-inch inexpensive brush from Blick Art Materials. Can you see that? And I put a little straight up red oxide on my palette. And so this part is a lot of gray, a little red oxide, and sometimes some of this orangey color that I mixed. And I'm gonna let it dry. We'll get the crane on there, and then I'll be back in a bit. guys, just a couple thoughts. So I had used black chalk pastel to transfer the crane. Here, I'm going to grab it. The crane onto my canvas to scale. And one thing, well, one reason is because then you could see it better, hopefully, in the video. But one thing that's driving me a little bit nuts is on this really light, it's not super light, but on this light background that I get sort of pastel smearing. And then I've had to kind of come back and paint it out. It's getting better now that I've lightened it up with a kneaded eraser and gotten some paint on the crane. It's a SANDHILL crane. I ended up darkening this up some, and then it kind of smeared. Here, I'm going to show you. Let's see if I can get it in. You can see that it kind of smeared, and I can come back and fix it some more. We'll see what happens when I get that red patch over the on the top of the crane's head. If I need to come back with the background color and blend it in some more. And then I'm just kind of finding shapes. And then I put, so the light's going to be kind of coming on the top of the beak and here, and then here. So I put a little bit of white just to remind me that's where my lightest lights are going to be. And I'm just finding shapes in the feathers. Pretty much working dark to light. And then I put, oh, here, I'll show you. So I did an abstract painting just a couple weeks ago. You can see the video on YouTube. And so I had a lot of leftover blue paint. So I just grabbed some paint from that palette. I'm getting it here. See, I still got a lot of blue paint. So that's Phthalo Blue Green shade and some Neutral Gray 5. And then this is even more gray. So I think that's the Phthalo Blue Green shade right there. So this has some Neutral Gray 5 in it, and then this pile, I pulled it out and put even more Neutral Gray 5 in it. And I grabbed some of that pile and put it on. Oh, I could grab some of that too. I'm using the yellow oxide on my palette. I could grab some of that too when I need some. I got to remember that. Too bad you guys aren't here to help me remember. That would be so nice. So here's my palette that I'm using. And then there's some of that Neutral Gray 5 and Phthalo Blue Green shade I just put on my palette. Oh, and then I put out a little quinacridone magenta. And then I'm going to mix it with the yellow oxide to get some of the reds and oranges. So just kind of trying not to add too many colors. You could use straight up red, because the red, I'm not sure, I might end up pulling out some red because the red on the top of that head is quite bright. Okay, so we're going to start the live here. If you want to jump over there on my YouTube channel and watch that, see what we chat about, or I'll download it and time-lapse it after this point, and then I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, that last little bit was the live, that was time-lapsed. So if you want to jump over to that video on my camera, you can watch me paint this area and part of this area step by step. I'm gonna paint more on it and I'll time-lapse it, and then I'll pop in when things come to mind. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I am pretty much done with the Sandhill crane part of this painting. It looks really good on video. Here, let's take a little tour. In case you want to see the eye. I'm always aiming. That's fun. And then I just have a bunch of little dots and brush strokes and color changes. Kind of follow the direction of the feathers. I've got a smear there that I pulled out, which I've been doing lately. I like that. There's another one. So see, those are just brush strokes. If you go to the live, you can just see me putting on the first layer of those brush strokes with a square brush. It's about a 1/2 inch. Aren't those colors pretty? I'm exaggerating the colors even more than the reference photo. And then the legs are more blue than the reference photo. That phthalo blue green shade, some neutral gray 5 to kind of tone it down, and some black. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And then I noticed in the reference photo that there aren't any weeds going over the crane. I don't know, I'll probably put some. There, see the legs are kind of look just black. I pulled out the blues, but there are some blues on the back of that crane and in the neck and the head. I really like that. So I think next, what I'm gonna do is a combination of some really light white hints of weeds off in the distance, and then maybe start working a little bit with the weeds, grass, dead grasses in the foreground. Still using the same colors. My palette's getting pretty messy. I mixed up some more brown. So just from this orangey color, so the orange color, which I mentioned before, is the red oxide and the yellow oxide. Makes a pretty orange. And then I just pull it over here, add a little black, and it makes a brown. Okay. Oh, I think I'm going to use, for the soft weeds in the background, maybe a filbert. And then probably in the foreground, I'm going to use, a 1-inch. This is a 1-inch angle brush. This is probably a 1-inch filbert. Okay, I think that's about it. Just adding layers, adding colors, keeping in mind my light's coming from this direction and shining that way. I'll be back in a bit, guys. So then I end up having a couple thoughts. So right now I have these one color and then some like little lighter ones in the background. I'll get it closer so you can see better. And that would push them back if you kind of leave them one value, kind of a mid-range value. Well, here, these are really light and soft and not much contrast, so that pushes them back even further. And then I have some up close that actually, I don't know if you can see it at that distance, but some of them have like 3 or 4 values in them. And they're just like weeds and seed pods, and I'm just building up. So I put down some dirt, and I put some dirt down more in the distance, and then even more dirt down in the distance. And I'm not sure if I like that yet. I might wash it out, paint over it. Okay, so let's start with the light. And I might bring some of them forward. And I don't always connect them. And I just kind of wiggle my brush. Hope that makes sense. Well, I connected most of those, didn't I? I might unconnect them. I just thought that might help you. And I'm doing them really loose. You see how like that one has a white spot and a black spot? See if I can get my finger over there. Pretty much right there. Here. Oh, right there. And then some of them don't. Like this one has a white and a black spot, so it really jumps. I'm gonna move it back a little bit. So the ones with the white spots jump at you a little more. And so I have 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of circling around the crane. And it mimics a little bit, like I'll put a spot there. And it's entertaining to put some dots and spots. Isn't that fun? Oops, crooked. And then I just kind of keep bringing up the values, but still they're quite dark. They just look, so like that's not a very bright blue, but next to all that dark black, it's a lot stronger. I hope that makes sense. You can just kind of play with it. If it doesn't jump out enough, you just lighten it up a little more until you like how much it jumps out at you. And then I'm using I'm using 2 angle brushes. I switched to this little, gosh, I don't know if that's a 1/2 inch. I've been using that for these. And then for the bigger ones, you know, I would stick here. See, maybe I can show you. I don't know if I can hold it and show you. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I can do it left-handed. So I would just kind of like, you know, take the corner of it and just kind of push on it to make a shape, and then take the edge of it and then kind of lightly start and then push in a little more and then pull up. So I was talking about that one right there. And so you start doing calligraphy. Because like a calligraphy pen can have an angle to it sometimes. And then I just kind of like, sorry, it's wiggling. Put it on, pull it up, you know, make some, I hope that showed, up and down strokes like that. Let's try it again. So put it on, pull it up, and then just kind of hold the angle of the brush and zigzag it. I hope I got that on camera. It's getting really pretty. This is the fun part, where I just kind of play with it. You know, after I get a couple layers on the crane, then I just kind of play with it. See what I want to pull forward. If I want to push something back, I add some black to it or darker color. If I want it to come forward, I add lighter color to it. Okay, I hope that makes a little bit of sense, and I hope that helps. Hey, I was gonna time lapse after that last little bit, and I thought maybe I'd try and show you. So I'm gonna take some of this color, which is the yellow oxide and white, and I'm gonna disconnect some of these, maybe right there. Probably horizontal would make more sense, and it doesn't have to totally cover it. And then just kind of blend it in a little bit. Maybe just connect that one. So we're not, I think it's her, Karen, I think her last name is Margulies. She's a pastel painter. She has a YouTube channel. She's like, you don't want a bunch of balloons. So it actually helps to not connect them all. But I was having so much fun with the calligraphy strokes, I wasn't thinking about it. But you can come back and just fix it. The layers almost always help you. I'll just carry that color over a little bit so it makes some sense. Disconnect this one. Maybe not quite that much. So then I could come back with some orange and reconnect. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Here, so in my reference photo, these are pretty strong, so I'm gonna see if I like that. So I'm gonna take some of this brown. So that's how I made them the first time around. Was just turning my brush. And then actually we could reinforce with a darker color some of these. And then that'll make the lighter orange ones go backwards. And I can even change directions. It's just kind of fun. Of course, you can get too many of them. So, oh, I don't think I mentioned this the last little segment either. At this point, I'm going quite slow. You know, I'm not a fast painter anyway, if you watch some of my lives. Yeah, that didn't add anything. That's kind of fun. And maybe, let's see, can you see that? Oh, if I go down too much lower, you can't see it. I generally have them kind of leaning in. I like to lean them in a little bit to keep you in the painting. I'm trying to decide. Oop, that was really fat. That's okay, we'll just leave it. I think I might just stop and see how it looks. I need to, so what I'll do is I'll get out of my chair and step back. You probably can't see down there, I'm painting too low. Let's put some white ones in. Or actually, we'll finish these. Okay, if I want to bring them, I'm just going to actually wipe some of that off. If I want to make them a little stronger, I could put black in them, but I don't know if I want them that strong. I wonder what it'll look like if we put a little blue in there. Oh, my paints are getting dry. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's kind of nice. All right, so let's just do a couple. So we have quite a few orange, a decent amount blue or brown, and then let's just put blue in a couple of them. So I usually like do 3, do 5. Actually, what we could do is put like a little dot right there, might be kind of nice. All right, I want to do one more. And it's like I can hear Emily, if she was here during the live, going, stop. Here, let's put a little blue right here. Oh, I don't know if you can hear those dogs. I've got my studio window open. And then if I don't like that part right there, I could take some of this lighter color. I wipe my brush off on a paper towel. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. So sometimes like I kind of had a straight line, so I'm just breaking up that little brown area. That's all I'm thinking there. I think those are plenty strong. I'm going to work on the whites. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm washing out my brush. Okay, I'm looking at my reference photo. There's some white ones in here. So let's maybe put, I don't know if that's going to be too big. It kind of bothers me already. And I want it to go back, so I don't want to, I don't know, that might be too big. We'll just see what happens. So vary the heights. I think that's gonna dry. So I can lift some off with my finger to lighten it up. I think that's gonna dry okay. It's gonna dry darker. I think we might have enough. Put one down there. Can totally overdo it. I'm gonna reinforce that one a little bit more. That's kind of pretty. Okay, some more. I was going to turn off the video here and not make this too long, but we'll do a couple more, I think. All right, maybe one right there. So I kind of wiggle it and push harder. hope you can see that. It's basically how I make them. And then as my brush dries out, sometimes I just add some strokes. Oh, that was off camera. Sorry, guys. We'll do another one. Okay. So I put a little water in my brush so that the white won't be super strong. I can always come back and add more white and make it stronger. All right, let's put one. I'm looking at my reference photo and I kind of think, I've got one there. I'm gonna make that even a little stronger while I'm thinking of it. And see, this one is starting to dry and it's starting to fade back. I might actually make it stronger after I wiped it off. Okay, so I've got a peak here, and then the bird peaks here. That's kind of there. And I don't want to probably match it. So maybe one here. I tend to like to line things up. Let's put a little. And then this time that one I connected. This one let's not. So I push kind of hard and I lift up, kind of wiggle. Let's have one kind of come down there. And I just keep playing with it till I like it. Like I'm not sure I like, I'm gonna move the camera. I've got quite a few lines over here. I need to step back and see if it's okay. Or maybe even take my white, come over the brown a little bit, break that one up. Sometimes you don't want really long lines and sometimes you do. It just kind of depends. I know that's not a very helpful comment. Or sometimes just breaking them up helps. Okay, I hope those comments help. But that's about the speed I paint it, and then I want to end the video here so I can get back from it, see how it's looking. And then I'll be back in a bit. Hey, I'm done. That hey sounded funny to me. I'm looking at it in my phone and I really like it. I could keep playing with it, but I'm going to stop. It's getting late. I'll save my palette. It's starting to dry out, but I sprayed it with water, put another plate on top of it, and stuck it in a gallon baggie. Sometimes it acts like a terrarium and kind of helps rehydrate them a little bit. I'm going to look at it tomorrow and see what I think. But I really like it. It's so fun. So at a distance, the weeds are soft, which I like. I mean, these are a little stronger. Well, those don't look very strong at all in the video. I'm just really happy with it. It's fun colors. I ended up putting some pink, a little bit of pink, which isn't in the reference photo. But I kind of wanted to tie in a little bit with the top of the head. So here, we'll do a little tour. Let me know what you think in the comments. If some of the things I mentioned help. The reference photo is linked in this video description. You might want to give it a try. It's really fun. I left out some things. There were some weeds really close up over here, and I didn't want them to conflict with the sandhill crane, so I left those out. So I think that's fun to have different colors in your dirt. I have some blues, I have some reds. I just keep playing with them and adding to them until I like it. And sometimes I'll put in too many little strokes. Like I had too many little strokes here. And so then I just put in bigger, fatter strokes. So I get more of just a dark triangle pointing you into the painting. Just kind of play with it. I know that's not very helpful, but the more you paint, you'll discover little things you like. Like, okay, so I mentioned it already, but like having like 3 colors in a little dead flower thing or a little seed pod or whatever that is. So even that one has a couple colors, are just not as, the values are more similar. They're just blobs. I'll get close to that one. Just blobs. Okay, so I'll back up a little bit. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. I need to paint more sandhill cranes. They migrate through here. And the one gallery owner said they sell well. Oh, I did paint a little bit on the sides. Not a ton. I just hinted at what I was doing on the front, on the sides. Here, I don't know if I did anything on this side. Yeah, I just hinted. You want to see the bottom? Well, thank you for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me here in my studio. It's really been fun to connect with all of you. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.